The Nasdaq touching all-time highs earlier today. Its eighth straight session, thanks to strength in tech and the Mag 7. Our next guest is seeing some opportunity, though, outside of tech. Joining me now, Oakmark Funds partner and U.S. Chief Investment Officer Bill Nygren. Bill, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I think this is the key question everyone wants to know: is where are the opportunities outside of tech, just given the overall concentration in the market? So, without further ado, where do you see those opportunities?
Well, I think investors have gotten so used to the idea that the S&P 500 is a relatively low-risk way to invest, and it's kind of obscured the fact that it's a technology mega-cap fund today. And what we do at Harris Oakmark is so different than that. We're looking at the companies that don't have such high expectations built in. And because of that, their PE multiples are less than half of what the S&P 500 is. We've in fact got a lot of companies that we own that are at single-digit PEs today. And they're not just banks. They're across a lot of different industries. Something like Corebridge Financial, which is retirement services, is at about 6 times expected earnings. Delta Airlines, about 7 times expected earnings. Merck, the giant pharmaceutical company. Everybody's worried about Keytruda coming off patent. We think the runoff value is more than the stock is selling for today, and you get the whole R&D effort for free. So I think an investor today who's got a lot invested in the S&P 500 should consider owning a fund that's invested as differently as we are, something that's more Russell value based, or of course we'd love it if it was Oakmark Fund.
Right. So starting with Corebridge Financial, I mean, it makes sense just given the demographic trends toward retirement. It feels like an increasingly competitive space, though. How does Corebridge really stand out? Why do you think that has kind of a next leg of growth from here?
Well, we're not going to dispute it's a competitive space, but we're not arguing it's worth 20 times earnings. If it's at 5 times earnings today, and they're putting most of their capital into share repurchase, in 5 to 7 years, if the stock doesn't move, they would be taking out the entire market cap of the company. So a lot of our stories are relatively slow top-line growth that's supplemented by return of capital to shareholders. And if that goes to share repurchase, that can really boost their earnings per share growth rate.
Interesting. So those few names that are able to buy back their own stock, it's somewhat decent valuations there. In terms of Delta, that one caught my eye because we were looking at booking some flights next year. Just JFK to Seattle was $850 a ticket. And I'm curious, as we kind of think about the travel space, which has taken a hit recently, why you think Delta stands out, especially given what feels like a very inflationary backdrop for travel. Just curious if the demand holds up into 2026.
Well, we like the management at Delta. The balance sheet is stronger than the other major airlines. And we like the demand for travel. The reason that ticket is so expensive is because demand is strong for travel next year. And it's been a tough environment for the discount airlines, and that's given the major airlines more of an opportunity to increase their prices a little bit and get back to normal margins. And again, at a single-digit PE, it's not asking that much of the company.
Yeah, you're like, no sympathy for you, Leslie. People will pay that $850 if you do not pay that $850. Lastly, there's Merck. You mentioned the Keytruda going off patent. What else in the pipeline, or what else do you think will supplement this company once that takes place, that will support valuations from here?
Merck has some other really interesting assets, including strong franchises in vaccines, which is another controversy area today, but we think that will continue to be a good profit source for them. They have a good business in animal health, and then in the pipeline, they have a lot of experiments of combining Keytruda with other drugs to more target specific cancers. And we think there's a reasonable chance that at least one of those will be successful.
Oh, that's interesting. Something to watch there as well. Bill, really appreciate your time. Nice to see you in person as well. Thank you for your perspective today.
Thank you.
Bill Nygren.